Hi there, this is Luv Johar. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. This particular video is very important for all the people who are asking questions from where to begin, from where to start watching the videos that I have created, from where to, lay a foundation for a proper, training program. So I had a lot of people asking me, the same questions over and over. So that's where I realized that there is a need of a series of episodes, a sequence of training videos, that could be launched so that people get the value, people get the knowledge, that they are seeking for. So that's where I wanted to start this series, and this will be a continuous series. There will be a lot of episodes posted in this series. There will be a lot of live sessions that will go on, and along the live sessions we will answer questions, we will answer your queries, we will try to help all the people that have any doubts. The only drawback that I see in the previous pre-recorded sessions are people cannot interact, people cannot ask any questions, people are missing that platform where they can get involved, they can ask questions. So this time all the live sessions will happen during after office hours in the ist timings, so that people can actually see these sessions live and take the most benefit out of these sessions. And moreover, as I said, they can interact more, they can get engaged with me, they can get their questions answered, they can get their doubts cleared. So all these things will start happening now. And any questions that you would like to ask, you can ask in the comment section. And maybe during the live video, or maybe during the letter of the day, maybe next day when you are watching this video as a part of the sequence that you were following, you can ask another follow-up question the next day. So things like that. Okay, so this will be a great help to all the freshers who are out there, who are not aware with the nitty-gritties of the information security world. And also this will be a huge help to all the working professionals also, because there will be a lot of topics that will be covered in this particular series from ground level to top level, so that any doubts that you have, you can get clarified as well in the real time scenarios, the issues that you are facing in your projects, anything you want to ask for. There might be some answers that I also might not be aware about, but still I'll try to answer as much as I can. And if not, the next day I'll try to answer them, okay, in the next session. So let's begin this journey together. And I hope that these videos, this new series, brings a lot of value to all of you who are out there. So thank you for being there. I already see 3 people in the live session, which is a great amount of participation that I was expecting in this initial you know training video that I was about to launch today. So without any further ado, let me tell you what exactly we will be going to cover. And it's a long list that I have in front of me, so I'll quickly go through it. There might be a chance that I might not be able to cover all these topics today, because this is a huge list that I have put up today for myself. However, I'll still try to go as slow as possible, because when I tried to create these videos last time, a lot of people were asking me, Love, you speak very fast. So this is a kind of feedback that I have got over the time. So this time I'll go actually as slow as possible, so that people can understand the topics better, people can clarify their doubts better, people can interact more, people can ask more questions. So this is your platform now. This is not my YouTube channel. I would like to say this is your YouTube channel now. So go ahead and participate and ask as many questions as you want to ask. No hesitation. This is a training platform for you. Okay, it's not for me. I'm trying to just share my knowledge here, and just to help you out. That's the only thing that I'm doing here. Okay, so we'll start today's video with the few topics that I'll be covering today. Like, first of all, what is the purpose of ISO 27001? What is the purpose of ISO 27001? What is the reason of ISO 27001? What is the purpose, objectivity behind ISO 27001? Why is ISO 27001 important? Why do we think that ISO 27001 is important? What are the reasons for that? Okay. What are the three ISMS security objectives that you should be aware about? What is an ISMS? We keep repeating this word ISMS a lot of times, but a lot of people are confused around what is ISMS. Why do we need an ISMS in the first place? Okay. What are the requirements for ISO 27001? What are the 14 domains of ISO 27001? So these are a few topics that, as I said, I'll quickly go over today in this first part one, that I am starting today. But still, if due to any reason, due to questions, due to, the amount of time, if, I'm not able to cover any of the last topics that I just said, I'll make sure I'll cover in the tomorrow's, live training, and it will keep on happening. These episodes will keep on coming up now. So this is just starting now. Okay. So I'll start with the basics now. Very basic question. Many people think sometimes, what is the purpose of ISO 27001? Why was it developed? Okay. So ISO 27001 was developed in order to help organizations, to help companies of any size, of any industry, of any, domain, in order to protect their information assets, in order to protect their information in a systematic way, okay, through the adoption of an information security management system. Okay, I'll try to break this down again for people's, more understanding. So what is the purpose of ISO 27001? This question can be asked in your interviews also. So I'll try to elaborate a little bit more on the answer. So ISO 27001 was developed in order to help organizations, in order to help companies, in order to help the industries of any size or any domain or any industry, okay, in order to protect their information, their assets in a systematic and cost-effective way. Okay, why? How? Through the adoption of an information security management system. This is the purpose of ISO 27001, why it was created. Okay, so this is a small answer, but this is a very high level answer. Okay, now we will go a little bit deep dive into this. Why is ISO 27001 important? Okay, this is the next follow-up question that should come. So ISO 27001 is a standard, as you all know. So the standard, the standard actually does not only provide you a criteria to, to protect all your valuable information assets. In terms of a standard, a company can also get certified. And why get certified? In order to prove to its customers and its partners and its stakeholders that this company is safeguarding all their data, all their information is protected, all their assets are protected, all their all their processes are safeguarded. So this is why ISO 27001 is important. And similarly, individuals can also get ISO 27001 certified. Okay, by attending a course and passing an exam, people can also get ISO 27001. And how it will help people in this case will be to prove their skills to the potential employers, that they can actually handle the ISMS that the organization has put in place. So this is where the skills, are shown to any of the potential employers, that okay, this is the person who can actually, take care of the information security management system that we have already implemented in place, or this person can actually implement the ISO 27001 for a startup company or for any, company for that matter. Okay, so a certification can prove your expertise to that, potential employer. So this is a difference between how a company gets benefit from ISO 27001 certificate and how a person gets benefits from the ISO 27001 certificate. So at an individual level as well as at an organization level. Okay, so as you all know, ISO 27001 is a very global standard. It's an international standard. It's easily recognized around the world. It has a great audience. It has a lot of organizations following it. So this is why we are discussing this standard, because It is the essence. If you will ask me only one question, why do I want to implement ISO 27001 in any organization? I would simply say that if you want to holistically cover anything and everything in terms of information security, if you want to have an umbrella framework, if you want to actually make sure that all the endpoints, all the end-to-end processes, each and everything, not only IT, not only infrastructure, not only a specific targeted function, if you actually want to completely holistically improve your organization's information security posture, you need ISO 27001. There is no other way around it. I'll be completely honest, and this is my feedback. Okay, so follow it seriously. ISO 27001 is very important, and at the same time it will bring you a lot of value, as I've already covered, at an organization level, at an individual level also. So now coming to the next question, which is what are the 3 ISMS security objectives? So what is the basic goal of ISO 27001? So I think most of you will know the answer, but still, as I said, I'll be covering all the topics. This is from the starting ground level up. So basic goal of ISO 27001 is to protect the 3 core aspects of information, which are: number 1, confidentiality; number 2, integrity; and number 3, availability. So this is the basic goal of ISO 27001 implementation of ISO 27001, as a whole, to protect the 3 aspects of information, which are nothing but confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Now, I'll little bit deep down into this. What is confidentiality? What is integrity? What is availability? Confidentiality, as you all know, is nothing but making sure that only the authorized persons have the right to access the information that they are intended to receive. Only the authorized person should be able to access the assets, not the unauthorized people who should not have access to the asset. Okay, this is where confidentiality plays a vital role. Okay, next one is integrity. Integrity says that only the authorized persons can change the information, not anyone who is not authorized. Okay, then comes availability. Now many people say that why availability is coming under information security objective. A lot of people have this doubt, because availability is part of an infrastructure level, where you need to make sure that the asset that you have is available, is of high resilience, if high availability. This term is used in the infrastructure models as well. So but people ask this: why is availability a part of the 3 core aspects of information? So I'll try to answer this question again today. So availability is a very important part, because all the information assets that you are trying to protect, they must be accessible to all the authorized persons whenever they need it. So this is availability. Otherwise, if the information will not be accessible to all the attendee, to all the intended audience, then what is the use of protecting the information if the information is not available when they need it? Okay, so availability, that's why it becomes a core importance. It's of utmost importance. That's why availability is there. Now, after that, after these questions, another follow-up question comes to: what is an ISMS? People ask me, people say, what is an ISMS? Information Security Management System. You hear this term a lot of times, but what is it? Is it a tangible thing? Is it a non-tangible thing? Is it a process? Is it a checklist? Is it a policy? Is it a framework? What is Information Security Management System that a company has to establish in order to make the company actually ISO 27001 compliant? So people are confused in ISMS also. That's why I am starting from the very core basics, because I know that this is a need. People are asking this. That's why you should know this. Okay, what is an ISMS? ISMS is nothing but a set of rules that a company, that an industry has to establish. Okay, a set of rules that a company has to establish in order to identify the stakeholders and their expectations of the company in terms of information security, number one. Second thing is to identify which risks exist for their information assets. This is number two. Number three, to define controls, which are safeguards and other mitigation methods in order to meet the identified expectations and to handle risks. This is number three. Now, number four, in order to set clear objectives on what needs to be achieved with information security. This is number four. Number five, in order to implement all the controls and other risk treatment methods that you have identified. Now, number six, in order to continuously measure whether the implemented controls are performing as per your expectation or not. And after that, number seven, to make, this is very important, right? Number seven is very important because here you have to implement ISMS in order to make continuous improvement, in order to make your ISMS work better. So these are the seven, reasons. There may be more reasons, but these are the main, reasons why a set of rules. This set of rules can be laid down in the form of policies, procedures, checklists, documents, can be anything on everything. Okay, but you have to establish these processes, these documents in order to make sure that your information is protected. I'll try to cover quickly all the things that I discussed again for a quick reference. So what is an ISMS? An ISMS is nothing but a set of rules, which can be laid down in the form of policies. It can be laid down in the form of procedures. It can be laid down in the form of, documents, checklists, anything you want to establish. Okay. So this is a very high level overview that I'm giving you, right? So reason why to do that is, number one, to identify your stakeholders' expectation of your organization's end goals in terms of information security. Number one, which is self-explanatory. What is the stakeholders? What is the executive team of your company? What are the expectations that they have, that they want to fulfill in terms of information security of their organization? This is the first driving factor, very important. Second thing is, in order to identify which risks exist currently for all the information assets that you have within your organization. This is again very important. Reason why to implement ISMS, the set of rules, why to establish those set of rules, why to establish these documents and policies, right? So second thing is, in order to identify which risks exist currently in the information portfolio that you have, the set of assets that you have, what type of risks exist currently, you should know. Otherwise, how will you mitigate them, right? So the third thing after risk assessment comes then defining controls. This is the third reason of implementation of ISMS. Defining controls, defining safeguards, and any other mitigation methods also, in order to meet the identified expectations again of the stakeholders and to handle the risks at the same time. After that, the fourth objective is to set clear end goals on what needs to be achieved with the information security function that you have in place, or procedures that you have in place. What is the clear objective? What is the end goal? And fifth thing is to implement all the controls and safeguards and all the risk treatment methods that you have identified in order to protect your assets. The sixth thing is to continuously measure and monitor if the implemented controls are performing as per your expectations or not. And last but not the least, I'll repeat again, seventh would be to make continuous improvements to make this whole ISMS system work as a wheel, as a process, as a kind of a framework, like a cycle. So you have to make continuous improvements to make this ISMS wheel run faster. Okay, so I think it will pretty much clarify why do you need a set of rules, you need them in order to establish all these things that I have just told you. That's why you need those set of rules. That's why you need those policies. That's why you need those procedures. That's why you need those documents. Okay. So a lot of people ask me, what are the benefits? What are the business benefits that a company, can achieve with the implementation of information security standard? This again can be an objective of your stakeholders. As I mentioned just before this question, that you have to understand what is the end goal that your company is driving after the ISMS implementation is very important. Okay. So first and foremost, I think most of you who are watching this video must also be aware about this. This is to comply with legal requirements. Okay. So there is an ever increasing, number of laws, regulations, contractual requirements, related to information security. A lot of things are coming up, and you would be glad to know that most of them can be resolved simply by implementing ISO 27001. So this standard ISO 27001 actually gives you a perfect method to comply with all these legal requirements. So just think about it, how much, this one implementation can actually, help you in the long term. Okay. So this is to comply with legal requirements, the first thing. Second thing, which most of the companies do, because this is again business we are talking about, so achieving competitive advantage. If your organization gets a certificate and your competitors, you have competitors, every business has a competitor these days. Okay. So if your organization is certified, what does it mean to your clients? What does it mean to your end consumers? What does it mean to your customers? As I mentioned in the start of this video, for all the industries who are implementing ISO 27001, clearly shows one thing, that this organization is very much sensitive about keeping their information assets safe. And they are very much involved in making sure that their information assets are safeguarded properly, and they are making sure that their assets are protected properly. They have proper procedures in place. So it talks a lot about making sure that your sensitive information is safeguarded. So client feels this level of confidence. The customers feel a sense of confidence that, okay, this organization that I'm dealing with is actually making sure is sensitive about my data, is sensitive about the information that they are dealing with. So that's where you achieve a competitive advantage as well. After that, another thing comes into play is, after the implementation, a lot of organizations say that they have reduced the overall cost for preventing the information security incidents. Because earlier, whenever there used to be any incident that used to happen in any organization, be it ransomware, be it DDoS attack, be it anything and everything, any kind of vulnerabilities that were there before, any organization has to cope up with it, right? You have to deal with those security incidents. But after preventing the ISMS in place, you actually save all that cost. You actually save all those man hours. You actually save all those productivity. You actually save your infrastructure assets from going down. You actually save a lot of bandwidth of people who are working in your technology department or security department or development department, production, wherever. Okay. So there you are actually saving cost. There is a cost involved in the implementation of ISO 27001. However, the return on investment is huge. If you will try to understand from a security incident point of view, the end, the return of investment is huge. ROI is very good. That's why organizations are implementing, because they understand this, that if any organization, God forbid it happens, but let's say any organization, if it comes to a ransomware attack or a DDoS attack, you have to go through a lot. It's a big security incident that has happened now. And you don't have a ISO 27001 in place, or you don't have ISMS in place, how will you cope up with it? How will you handle those security incidents? How will you handle those criticalities? What if there is a reputational loss? How will you deal with that loss? So things like that, very small things. People don't think about these things on a day to day, but when they happen, yes, it happens. Okay, so that's where organizations, after implementing ISO 27001, they actually save costs. Why? Because they avoid, they mitigate, they safeguard, so that these incidents do not happen. These incidents do not surface their boundaries, their perimeters. Okay, that's why, in turn, lowering the cost. This can come as a part of the business case, that many people ask me how to prepare a business case for ISO 27001 implementation. So this is where it comes a part of a business case document, where you can actually show your business that these are the 5 costs, these are the 5 areas where I will save money. It's not only about implementing money. Let's say I have invested X amount of money. If I'm getting Y amount of return on it, then you can show the organization, you can show those calculations, you can show the man hours involved in case something happens, and so that they can realize that yes, this can happen. Obviously the probability is less, completely agree with that, but what if it happens? Okay, so keeping those probabilities in mind, keeping those things in mind, you can actually create a business case over this. Okay, so these are some of the benefits that just discussed today. And this is these are the topics that I wanted to cover today. Just a couple of more things I wanted to cover here, like what are the 14 domains of ISO 27001. Okay, so people they ask this, what are the 14 domains of ISO 27001. Okay, so these 14 domains are actually listed in Annex A of ISO 27001 standard. Okay, organized in the sections A.5 to A.18. Okay, I'll quickly walk through all the 14 domains here. For your reference, I'll quickly drill down to some of them, and I'll briefly touch upon all of them. Firstly, I'll name them. What are the 14 domains of ISO 27001? So the first thing is A.5, which talks about information security policies. Then A.6, organization of information security. Then A.7, human resource security. Then A.8, asset management. Then A.9, access control. Then A.10, cryptography, which we just discussed yesterday in one of the live sessions that we were having. A.11, physical and environmental security, very important. A.12, operation security. A.13, communications security. A.14, system acquisition, development and maintenance. A.15, supplier relationships. A.16, information security, incident management, like the things that I just discussed about. What if an incident happens? Okay, what if a security event and incident happen? What will you do in that case? A.17, information security aspects of business continuity management. Very important, especially after COVID has hit. This has, business continuity is one of the, most, talked about, agendas in all the, CIO meetings, that are happening across the globe. Business continuity. Everybody is talking about business continuity post COVID, or, when all this started, when the lockdown started, everybody is talking about business continuity. Very crucial aspect. A.17, business continuity management. A.18, compliance, very important. So now I'll quickly go back and I'll drill down a little bit in all of them, so that you get an understanding of these 14 domains of ISO 27001, so that you can get some value out of this video and you understand all these domains. A.5 talks about information security policies. it's already defining itself. There is nothing much to say. So this control is basically describing you how to handle your information security policies. What are the things that you need to keep in mind while defining your information security policies, how to handle information security policies, things like that. Okay. A.6 is talking about organization of information security. This will actually give you a basic framework of implementation and operation of information security. What are the different roles and responsibilities at an organization level, and it will actually walk you through the organizational aspects of information security, like project management, things like that. So after that, A.6, human resource security. Again, this term in itself is, telling you, this domain, that all the controls in this particular domain, this section will ensure that people who are under the organizations, are hired, trained, managed in a secure way. And, the onboarding, offboarding procedures, things like that, hiring, terminations, things like that. All the things are discussed in the human resource security domain. After that, A.8, asset management. So this is talking about information security assets. Very important. Information security assets, I'll probably create another particular video for information security assets. This is very important, guys. All of you are watching. If you know how to identify the security assets, half of the job is done. You can count me on that. Information security assets identification is very important and is a crucial area of the whole ISO 27001 implementation. Okay. Asset can be anything. It can be information, it can be infrastructure item, it can be a person, it can be a storage item, it can be anything. But identifying assets is very important. It can be tangible, it can be non-tangible also. So you have to think properly while identifying information security assets. Okay. So asset management, this is where it talks about that. Okay. A.8, asset management. After that, access control, A.9. So this is, again, as it states, this domain, this section will actually make sure that all the information assets are actually, the access is controlled for physical access, logical access, all the types of accesses are controlled. That's where A.9 will come into play. And after that, A.10, the cryptography. Cryptography, as we discussed yesterday, it will actually help you to define the controls, the procedures, the safeguards that you should do in order to encrypt all the data which is at rest as well as which is in transit. So make sure that you have this understanding of data at rest and data at transit. All the data which is at rest in your organization, which is stored on a storage device, that is called data at rest. All the data that is actually traveling from one network to another network on the internet, anywhere if the data is traveling, that is called data in transit. Okay. So this is where cryptography comes into play, where you want to make sure that all the types of encryptions are in place. Okay. When you make sure that all the encryption controls are in place. Okay. Cryptography plays a major role in order to ensure that confidentiality, authenticity, and integrity of information is in play. So A.10 is very important. Okay. After that, A.11. A.11 talks about physical and environmental security. Okay. Physical security is very important. Perimeter security is very important because it will prevent unauthorized access to physical areas. What if anybody and everybody can walk through your data center right away without anybody watching that person? Okay. So this is, an area where you need to make sure that physical and environmental security is taken care, so that unauthorized access is permitted, so that you can protect your equipment, you can protect your facilities, you can protect your assets, by human intervention or from any kind of compromise. So A.11, physical and environmental security, very important. Okay. So after that, A.12, operation security. So operation security will actually give you all the things about, the operating systems, the software, protection against data loss. So things like that. What will you do, to record events, to, periodic verification of vulnerabilities, making precautions, against them. So things like that. Everything which is affecting your operations, your productions, will be covered in the operation security part. Then comes communication security. Communication security talks about network infrastructure, because communications word is there. So it will talk about your network infrastructure in place, all the network services in place, all the information that is transiting through them, that is traveling through them. As I just said, information in transit. So communications security will make sure that you have those firewalls in place, that you have those policies in place, that you have those safeguards in place, things like that will be covered under A.13, communication security. Okay. After that, it is A.14, system acquisition, development, and maintenance. So the controls in this section ensure that information security is taken into account when, whenever you are actually trying to implement a new, information system, or you are upgrading, or you are developing any new information system in place. Okay. So development, software development, software, maintenance, integration, etc., will come into system acquisition, development, and maintenance, A.14. After that, A.15, supplier relationship. This is again self-evident. It is, showing in itself. So all the controls in this section will ensure that outsourced activities performed by the suppliers and the third parties, the third party partners that you have, the third party vendors that you have, are, appropriate. Security controls are there. All the activities are managed, all the activities are monitored, all the activities are controlled. There are safeguards in place. And how to monitor the third party security performance is a very important thing, which is covered under A.15, supplier relationships. So that's where this, domain comes into play. After that, talks about A.16, which is information security incident management. Again, very important and crucial. As I said, incident management is very important. So all the controls in this section provide a framework in order to handle a security event, in order to handle a security incident, so that the security incident once happened can be resolved in a timely manner. You know what to do. You have those procedures in place. You have those documents in place. You know from where to start. You know from where to, start implementing the remedial processes. What are the remedial processes? Most of the people don't even know that. So this domain will actually help you in finding out those things. How to make sure that you learn from these security incidents, and how to make sure that you prevent their occurrence, their reoccurrence of security incidents. This is what comes under information security incident management. Okay. After that, A.17. So A.17 talks about information security aspects of business continuity management. So all the controls in this section, as I said, we'll talk about disruption. We'll talk about, the managing the availability of information, managing the, the downtime, the things that, once the disruption actually has happened, what to do next, what to do post disruption. How can you make sure that the other side, the DR side that you have, how to make sure that the DR side gets activated? How to make sure that the DR site that you have, all the processes which you have are currently functioning, how to make sure that they come live at the same time. When one side goes down, other side, comes up live. So all these procedures, all these, processes and workflows will actually come as a part of business continuity management. BCP, business continuity planning, BIA, business impact analysis, all these things, will come under a part of business continuity management. After that, A.18 is compliance. Very important. 8.18 is very important. Why? Because this section will actually, help you to prevent legal, statutory, regulatory, and all the contractual breaches, that your organization might come under if and audits, and if you do not have proper implementation of this domain. So it tells you what are the defined policies you have to follow, what are the procedures, what are the requirements of the ISO 27001 standard as a whole, so that it can help you in all the legal, statutory, regulatory, and contractual obligations. So that's where the compliance sections come into play. Okay. So I think these domains are very much intensive in itself. So I think this is a lot of topics to cover for today. So I would like to hold here, and I would like to answer a few questions just after this. Okay. So one thing I would like to add before jumping onto the questions would be a closer look of all the domains that I have just discussed now. What does these things show you? These things, these domains, these 14 domains that I have just discussed show one thing. Okay, that information security is not about only having IT security in place. It's not about having firewalls. It's not about having antivirus in place, but a lot of other factors also come into play. It's about managing processes. It's about managing your workflows. It's about securing your processes and workflows. It's about the legal protection of your organization. It's about physical protection of your organization. It's about protection of your human resources, the people that you are dealing with. That's why ISO 27001 is called the umbrella framework, which I just stated in the beginning of this video around an hour ago. That's why ISO 27001 states each and everything. That's why they call it a holistic framework. That's why it is so important. Okay, ISO 27001 is very important. That's why it has all these benefits. Okay, so this is I think this all these details that I have just given are helpful to all the people that you were there, and I will try to answer all the questions that I can see in the comment section. Thank you so much for Sandeep and Trisha, and one more person is there. So all of you have put in a lot of questions. Thank you so much for asking the questions. I'll try to answer them all. If not, I'll try to answer them tomorrow. Okay, because the session itself was very much time consuming, so I do not want to hold people for a long time. So that's where I'm also concerned. Okay, so a lot of questions are there. I don't know from where to begin. Okay, so Trisha Srivastav, the first question that I have with me is, how are different standards of ISO related, like ISO 27002, ISO 27031, ISO 27001, ISO 27000, 2005 edition is there, 2013 version is there. So she's asking whether all these come under one umbrella of ISO 27001. Okay, so ISO 27000 is a series. Okay, Trisha, you are right there, but I'll correct you a little bit more. So the 22700X, this is a series. Okay, so this series has a lot of standards under it. As you have rightly mentioned, there are a lot more standards in this series. ISO 27001 is the one that everybody follows because it states the requirements that any organization has to fulfill in order to be compliant. That's why ISO 27001 rises above all of these standards, and that's why it's a standard why everybody refers to this ISO 27001. But yes, all these standards are interrelated, but the requirements, as I said, are only specified in ISO 27001. You should be knowing that. However, all the other standards have their own play. Okay, I'll discuss about that. You rightly mentioned people should know about what are the different standards. What does each standard of the ISO 27000 series stand for? Very important question. I'll make sure that I'll try to answer it in one of the videos. So it's important actually. Okay. So this was the first question. So okay, another question by Sandeep Quatra. I can see that he's asking about internal and external issues and role of interested parties. Okay, so you're asking about that. Okay, sure. So I was thinking of covering this separately tomorrow, Sandeep. So I'll probably start the tomorrow's section with this particular question that you have answered, because many people have confusions over this. So since I have not covered this topic today, I will not answer this question. However, I would like to cover it separately tomorrow. So hope that will be fine with you, Sandeep. So I have noted down these questions and they come under a specific topic. So I'll try to cover them tomorrow only, and I will answer both of these questions that you have, because these are a part of a topic, right? So after that, Gangara has a question. Gangara is asking, how many years should the organization perform internal audit before getting certified by ISO? So how many years should the organization perform internal audit? So internal audits, let me clarify something here. Okay. Thank you, Trisha, for making sure that you understand my answer. Okay, I got your feedback. I'm happy that you got what I was trying to say. Thank you for confirming it. So Gangara, so let me tell you what is, first of all, internal audit. I think there is some confusion there. That's why you are asking how many years should an organization perform internal audit before getting certified by ISO. Okay, so internal audit is nothing but an assessment. Internal audit is an assessment that an organization does internally. There is no such compliance in terms of the time period of internal audit, in terms of the cycle of internal audit, in terms of the periodicity of internal audit. You can do internal audit in a quarter, you can do internal audit in 6 months, depending upon the scope of your ISO 27001 implementation, depending upon the scope, the boundaries of ISO 27001. You can do the internal audits as your company specifies, as your organization specifies. That's why you do internal audit. Internal audit is done to actually go through an assessment. It's kind of a thing where you actually understand the controls that you have implemented, whether these are affected or not, whether the things that you have actually put into play are actually working as per your expectations or not, or are there any loopholes there. It's not like you have to go for 1 year or 2 years of internal audits before getting certified by ISO 27001 as compliant. It's not like that. It's like you have to do this as a process. Internal audit is one thing that is recommended. Okay, try to understand this. But this is not something that it's stopping you from getting a ISO 27001 certificate for your organization. Try to understand that. Okay. So after implementing the controls, you should get an assessment done. So after the assessment is done, you should go for a certification. Internal audit will not stop you from getting certified. Let me be very clear there. Okay, don't get yourself trapped in that environment. Don't stop yourself from holding the certificate because of internal audits. Okay, you can perform as many audits, internal audits, as you want, depending upon the scope of your project. And as I mentioned, it's dependent upon your organization, right? So you can do that. Cool. So thank you, Sandeep, for allowing me to answer the query tomorrow. I'll try to cover this aspect. I completely understand from where these questions are coming. I can answer them today, but since I have not touched upon this topic, I would like it to be kept for tomorrow. So That's it for today. Then, a lot of the people have joined the live stream. Really happy for all of you who are there, as a part of the live stream. You have been, patient enough to watch me, to actually understand the concept that I was trying to relay. So, just make sure that you have any questions after watching this video. Make sure that you post them down in the comment section. I'll try to answer them, as soon as I, get some time. So Gangara, thank you so much for, Ganagra. Sorry for misspelling your name. Ganagra, thank you so much for, saying that you acknowledged, and you have understood the concept. So thank you so much for all the people who were there. So I'll try to cover up the remaining topics tomorrow, and I'll try to answer the remaining things tomorrow, or whenever we'll get time for the next episode of this series. Okay. So Trisha, you were asking something regarding. Okay, couple of more questions are coming up. Hang on there. Yeah, so Trisha, actually, any company who wants to get ISO 27001 certified has to go through an accreditation, company that actually can, certify that, that organization that it is ISO 27001 compliant. So, okay. So Ganesh, your name was coming Ganagra. I'm sorry about that. It was showing Ganagra over there. Okay. Thank you for confirming, Ganesh. Okay, I'll remember that. So there are organizations that get you certified, yes, and they will do external audit in order to make sure that the ISMS that you have implemented is actually, holding some value, is actually, working as you have documented it. So yes, they do that. Okay. This is the question. What else was there? Oh, Sunil is asking what time will you come live tomorrow? So Sunil, I think if you will subscribe to this channel, anytime I will be live after. Usually it will be after 8 p.m. only in the evening. I will come live. Okay. And usually after 8 p.m. only I will come live, because in the daytime I also don't get time. I'll be honest with you. I am also a working professional like you. So it will be mostly after 8:30. And if you subscribe to this channel, you will get the notification when the video is live. Then you can actually come and participate. Okay, so I would encourage all the people who are watching to subscribe to the channel, so that as soon as I go live, you will get the notification. Okay, that's why it is important. Okay, so Sunil, I'll control list is something you can easily get online for ISO 27001. It's nothing like it's hidden or somewhere. You can easily Google it. Control list will be there. See, Sunil, one thing I would like to correct you here is getting the list as a document is really easy. Okay, anybody will be able to give you that. Understanding why that control list actually exists, what is the reason behind that list, and what is the reason behind those controls is more important. So bear with me. We will cover all the controls in the control list. We'll talk about controls separately. This will be actually a very valuable video for you, where I will only talk about controls. Okay. So Trisha, so something called statement of applicability is there. Okay, SOA, which they call. Okay, so SOA is the first document that the company actually audits in order to see what are all the things, that what are the controls that you have implemented, what are the things that you have actually done in the complete framework. So the question that you are asking is actually it's not all the controls. Not all the controls are specific to any organization. So controls that are applicable to your organizations are get audited. Okay, and it comes under SOA. So I'll come to that. Maybe it's kind of an thing that people actually try to ask questions which are further down the line, but I completely understand that. So it comes under SOA. We will discuss that statement of applicability. I have already, put a lot of different videos on SOA. If you want, you can, watch them in the intermediate so that you get this answer. Not all the controls, Trisha. Only a few controls which are applicable. Okay. So, Manoj Kumar, there are a lot of certifying bodies that you can get contact into. You can Google them. There are a lot of different names. I would not like to mention them here so that someone will think that I am trying to promote anyone here. So, a lot of certification bodies are there. You can contact them to get the ISO 27001 certificate for your organization. A lot of certifying bodies are there. I would not name them here so that people might think that I'm branding someone. Okay, so yes, you can do that, right? A lot of organizations do that. uh, that is all. I think I have answered mostly all the questions except Sandeep's. So apologies, Sandeep. I'll try to cover this particular topic that you have asked tomorrow, and I'll try to answer your questions primarily first, or tomorrow or whenever I'll come live again, because we host a lot of different videos every day. So maybe not tomorrow, maybe day after or so. So yeah. So but rest assured that all the questions that you have put in the comments will get answered. Only I think Sandeep's question remains in the. Let me tell you what was Sandeep asking, so that you people who are watching know. He is asking the difference between internal and external issues. What is the difference between these two things? Okay, which is a part of a big topic that I would like to cover in a separate video. And he is asking the role of interested parties. Okay, so this is basically a clause that he wants to know about in the ISO 27001 standard itself, that he wants to inquire about. Since I have not touched the clause here today, I'll not answer it today, Sandeep. I'll actually answer it in the upcoming video. So I think that's all then. Remaining all the comments have been answered. So I feel good about that. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and try to share this video with all the fresher friends that you have. Rest assured that they will get value after watching this video a couple of times. Maybe first time this video will actually bounce your head. I'll completely be honest with you, because these are the things that you have not heard before. Okay, but if you will watch this a couple of times, maybe record it on your mobile phone and maybe record it on a pen drive and watch it later. But trust me, if you will do that, these videos will actually bring a lot of value to you. Okay. So it's every 3 years that Mohammed, every organization has to get recertified. Every 3 years, it's a certification cycle for all the organizations to get recertified, right? So you were asking how often certification needs to be renewed. It's 3 years. Okay. So thank you, Sandeep. Thank you. I appreciate your patience, and I would like to cover this, as I said, as a separate topic. So that's where I will answer this. So Mohammed, to answer your question, how often certification needs to be renewed for any organization? It's 3 years. Okay, so you can note it down. So I'll discuss about that as well. Two types of audits come into play. Surveillance audits come into play, certification audits come into play. So I'll answer those questions also. Why 3-year period is there? What will happen after 1 year? What will happen after second year? All these questions we will discuss. Don't worry. Okay. So I'll go topic by topic, since I am only concerned with the basic topics today. So that's why I do not want to go into a lot of depth here. So thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I actually enjoyed creating today's session. And I'll be happy if all of you join in the next one as well, and make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that when you actually when we will actually come live the next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. Stay safe. Bye bye.